The former is now at cornerback, with the latter positioned at wing-back, and draft. This afternoon, Killian McLaughlin and Jerry Flanagan swap positions. The former is now at cornerback, with the latter positioned at wing-back, and drafted back into the team from the outset is Shane Heslin on the 40, and he's the first cousin of John and Des Newton. Indeed, Des may well have his work cut out for him this afternoon, as the man he's marking is Leitrim's leading scorer, Brian Breen, although he's known to legion of Connacht football fans simply as Barney. Sean McHale from the Knockmore Club in Mayo preparing to start this semi-final tie, and it'll be Leitrim who'll play with the wind at their backs for the first half. It's quite a gentle breeze nonetheless, so they play from right to left in this third successive meeting of these counties, and straight away a foul deals a free kick to Roscommon. And the ground is really extremely hard this afternoon because of the unremitting sunshine we've had over the last number of weeks, and again it's a very humid afternoon today. David O'Connor preparing to take this free kick, the centre half back tracking it deep in there. Eric Duggan was the player chasing it. All won back there by a very committed Jerry Holohan. Leading support here from Noel Moreland, held up by Vincent Glennon. Declan Darcy, the free player, belted forward here. Brian Dignan, played with the minor team last year that reached the Connacht minor final. It's towards Barney Breen, but Roscommon going back there, grouping well, and again a push, yielding another free kick. Matthew Riley now playing his club football with Athlone to Fallon. Connaughton waiting for it to go over his head. Certainly Roscommon have settled very quickly, but they've failed to put on the points so far. This is Ollie Honeyman frustrating them once again. But it's Leitrim who have been frustrated by Roscommon in the last couple of years. They might well have won here in 1990, dominated the 1991 contest, and here they come in 92 looking for their opening score, and they get it, and it's put over by Liam Conlon. A good burst out of defence, set up initially by Ollie Honeyman, straight through the middle, and finally the first point is registered with just about 6 minutes gone.
Good point for Leitrim, who are playing with the wind in this half. Barney Breen, a great ball in here after Ollie Honeyman had cleared from the fence, and Liam Conlon coming through, probably should have put it in the net, but at least a point.
Towards Junior McManus, judged the bounce perfectly against Declan Darcy. Darcy was marking his cousin Tony McManus last year and came off second best.
One of the problems here today for a free taker, Derek Duggan going out to take this one, is the grass is so short after all the dry weather. It's very hard to get the ball up high enough to get any type of accuracy, so it's very difficult for anybody at the moment kicking frees because it's more or less off the ground.
So can Derek Duggan then, from about 41, 42 metres out, set up Roscommon's first score of the game. Joey Connaughton was coming onto it. Jerry Flanagan holding off his man, and the ball ends up going wide despite... Whoa! That was Joey Connaughton exacting some form of retribution on Jerry Flanagan. That's Flanagan, the Ohawillan player, down injured, and the referee saying up you get, and he wants the goalkeeper back. He's called over Joey Connaughton to speak to him. So the name going in the book.
Well, a bit of a tussle here when the ball was going wide, and Jerry Flanagan does very well actually to hold off Andy Leyland and allow the ball go out wide, and then he throws up his leg and catches Joey Connaughton, and Joey retaliates.
Brilliantly fetched but lost by John Newton, who was fouled by Pat Donoghue. Shane Heslin again just making sure that any possible options of a short pass to Joey Connaughton are closed off. The ball has been brought forward by David O'Connor. The referee signal that it's going to be a 20-metre free for a foul by Ollie Honeyman inside there. Well, an interesting decision by referee Sean McHale. Effectively setting this one up for Derek Duggan to kick it over the bar. Roscommon's first point in the 10th minute of the so far lacklustre Connacht semi-final. Joey Connaughton pushing on Shane Heslin. Heslin taking the free kick himself up into the corner here. This is the point scorer for Leitrim, Liam Conlon, one of their Dublin-based players. One of the problems, of course, that Peter Carroll has, having a large number of his panel based in and around Dublin. Matty Riley was fouled, takes the free kick to Joey Connaughton. Racing back for it here, Killian McLaughlin. And you can be certain that Tom Grehan felt that one as he felt the full impact of the stone-hard ground, really. Two sides fiercely wound up for this championship tie. It's a long time since Leitrim reached the Connacht final. 1967 was the last year. Another good fetch in there. Nicely caught by Derek Duggan. And certainly he's having the better of his duel with the veteran Ollie Honeyman so far. Honeyman's a very crafty player, but he's lost some of his speed over the years.
Roscommon are leaving the whole left-hand side of the pitch completely free by bringing Tom Grehan across to the other side and leaving it free for Derek Duggan.
The second free for Derek Duggan, that's got over the crossbar, ensures Roscommon take the lead for the first time in this match. Both their points coming from place balls. Noel Moran taking it with some difficulty. Fouled by Vincent Glennon. Bringing it nicely forward for Michael Dykeman, or for Brian Dykeman. Now Pat Donoghue to Liam Conlon. The drill one forward for Barney Breen to hold. Des Newton coming to put in the challenge. Des Newton's father, indeed, JP, was a former Leitrim player. This is Shane Heslin. Barney Breen right on the end line, trying to set one back here now. Brian Dignan to kick, trying to dissect the post, but it's been waved, as you can see, wide by both players and the umpire. And so far, Leitrim with 4 wides. They can ill afford that number, playing, of course, with the wind at their backs. Andy Leyland. Good deep ball towards Junior McManus. Couldn't quite control it. Jerry Holohan shipped forward. And that's Killian McLaughlin who takes the tumble, but you can see how fired up Tommy Grehan is. Warwick Fallon, the number 8 here. Will be taken by Mickey Quinn. Conlon trying to profit. Barney Breen back to Conlon, should be a goal, stopped brilliantly. Gay Sheeran denies Leitrim, but really they were queuing up to kick that one in, and that's a quite dreadful miss. Credit the goalkeeper Gay Sheeran for a fine save in the end, but Conlon had the chance initially, then Barney Breen, but Gay Sheeran denies them all. It ends up being a 13-metre free. Referee's whistle had sounded. And the ball is put over the bar by Barney Breen to tie up the scores.
Well, it was a bad free kick from Leitrim's point of view, but John Newton let the ball fall out of his hands. Liam Conlon gives it in. Back into Liam Conlon here, and he should have put it away. Gay Sheeran does very well to come out, and it goes back to Barney Breen, and he's failed to control it, but at least they got a point out of it anyway.
On towards Andy Leyland. Skipping by the challenge of Jerry Flanagan, trying to bring Junior McManus into a scoring position. It's Andy Leyland again. Now teeing one up for Vincent Glennon. This should be put over the bar by Vincent Glennon. Roscommon go back in front again, leading by just a point. Vincent Glennon's first score. Good piece of interchange by the Roscommon forwards. They showed a certain degree of purpose about them that time, and they finished decisively.
Good work by the Roscommon forwards to play the ball back out of an awkward situation in the corner. Andy Leyland here getting it on to Vincent Glennon, and he has an easy point, but a couple of the Leitrim backs dived in when they should have stood off their men and made them play it.
So a lot of pressure on them. Liam Conlon, Shane Heslin now, the player who came back, played for part of the match against London in Ruislip last month. Brushing aside the challenges, trying to set up Liam Conlon again, 20 metres out, kicking, and he's put it over the bar. A second point for the Sean Heslin's player. So it's 3 points apiece.
Shane Heslin does very well and draws in 3 Roscommon backs and leaves Liam Conlon relatively free, even though John Newton tries to get in the tackle. Liam Conlon is fairly accurate off his left foot and kicks a good point. Leitrim will need all of this with these scores with the win.
Vincent Glennon waiting to make that his. That's Pat Donoghue, number 9, fouling. Roscommon resisting the temptation to bring out Derek Duggan on this particular occasion. Vincent Glennon's going to pump it in instead towards Shane Kern. Finally gets it. Setting one up here for Tommy Graham. And Roscommon in front once again. 4 points to 3. Tommy Graham, the latest scorer. Tommy, who played some football down in Australia in the Australians' rule code.
Well, again, Roscommon trying to get the ball in fairly fast. Should have been cleared by the Leitrim backs, but when it comes out to Tommy Graham, he's an easy chance. But Roscommon obviously have changed their style of play. They usually work the ball forward very slowly. Today they're kicking it long into their 2-man full forward line.
5 points to 3 the position. Roscommon the leaders. Tommy Graham with possession. Delivering the pass in towards Junior McMahon. It's fisted on. Great chance here. Is that a penalty? No, it's not. Referee doesn't award the penalty to Roscommon for the foul there on Shane Curran. But you hear the jeering and the booing. That's what the Roscommon fans think of the challenge by Thomas Quinn.
Very good ball in, and Eamon McManus flicks it on to Shane Curran. Goalie comes out, Thomas Quinn catches Shane Curran. Roscommon supporters won't be too happy with that decision taken, but it lets Leitrim off the hook.
Stood down, one again by Mickey Quinn. Now Pádraig Kenny. Can he be a Leitrim match winner yet? Setting one up for Paul Kieran, 20 metres out on that tight angle. Liam Conlon going in, here's a scoring chance. Another great save by Gay Sheeran. Twice he's denied them certain goals. A brilliant save by Gay Sheeran. Well, if you're looking for saves of the year at the end of this season, you may not have to go too much farther than the first half of this match.
A great play here on the left wing between Pádraig Kenny and Liam Conlon. Do a 1-2. Liam Conlon gets through the tackle there. Joey Connacht could have cut it out, but Gay Sheeran guesses right and goes to his right and makes a very valuable save. That's twice he's saved Roscommon this half.
Resultant 45, didn't quite make it. Mickey Quinn contesting at midfield. Paul Kieran now coming into this region more and more, becoming more of an influence. Liam Conlon still persisting. Good sign of a good player. Barney Breen, another great save by Gay Sheeran. That's 3 remarkable saves. It's gone over for a point, but it looked a certain goal. Barney Breen ties up the scoring.
Both full back lines have been in trouble. Roscommon full back line now on the ropes. Liam Conlon getting the better of Damien Donlan, comes in here, gives off a lovely pass to Barry Breen, but he should have probably gone around Gay Sheeran, tries to blast it. Gay Sheeran gets down very well.
The referee has now allowed over 4 minutes of injury time to be played.
Leitrim can feel happier at this stage, because going in at half-time, they have done very well to get back to be on level terms after being outplayed for most of the first half.
Level pegging at the interval after the referee played 4 minutes and 40 seconds of injury time, but the star of the first half, no question about it, Gay Sheeran, with a string of exciting saves, not just with the hands but the legs as well, denying Leitrim certain goals. And at half-time, it's Leitrim 5 points, Roscommon 5 points. Referee Sean McHale giving the nod, start of the second half, and John Newton in, challenging straight away. Andy Leyden pushed by Declan Darcy. One of the outstanding players for Leitrim in the opening 35 minutes plus because of the injuries. That's Joe Darcy. Now Pat Donoghue steadying himself. All cut out, however. Knocked forward. And it's won again here by Mickey Quinn. Liam Conlon, the player who was fouled by Des Newton. So Leitrim coming looking for the opening score of the second half. It'll be Barney Breen to kick it. Scored 2 goals and 6 points against London, which is just a point behind Tony McManus's all-time Connacht record. 3 points from the first half. Breeze into his face, a gentle breeze, he finds the range, and Leitrim take the lead once again. They led at the very start of the match, and now they've taken the lead in the second minute of the second half. Mickey Quinn, the former All-Star, attempting to bring Barry Breen into the game a little more. Now Brian Dignan, referee spotted, he was fouled by Matthew Riley, allowed him the advantage, comes back to Porrick Kenny for Leitrim. Now Barney Breen, fisting it inside for Liam Conlon, lives look very sharp and incisive. And just as we say that, he misses, not quite a pass, not quite a shot, but it's held in play by Shane Heslin. Transferred back to Paul Kieran to come in, to take the shoulder from Matty Riley, fires it over the bar. Paul Kieran's first point, and now Leitrim lead by 2 scores, 2 points, 7 points to 5. Paul, who's a doctor in Enniskillen, has been on the championship scene for the last number of years, linking up well with the other forwards.
And Shane Heslin does very well to retrieve a ball here from Liam Conlon that was going to go wide. Puts it back in for Paul Kieran, takes a very good shoulder there from Matty Riley, and then kicks it over his left foot. Leitrim going very well at the moment.
Again, Mickey Quinn getting the fingers to that one. Porrick Kenny profiting. Shane Heslin now. And again, he's in the wars. A hefty challenge by Joey Connaughton. Shane Heslin, who's a guard in Ballinamore, which is part of the heartland of Leitrim football.
Porrick Kenny there trying to get the ball from the break at midfield. Leitrim punching the ball at every chance, and a very heavy tackle there by Joey Connaughton and Shane Heslin, who's been doing a lot of work for Leitrim, and that certainly should have been at least a bookable offence there.
Well, if it was a bookable offence, it'll be a sending off one, because he was booked earlier on in the match, so the referee perhaps hedging his bet somewhat. But that's played in, touched back brilliantly, and a goal chance for Paul Kieran. Paul Kieran, a goal for Leitrim after 9 minutes of the second half. The ball was held up brilliantly by Liam Conlon, I think. Touchdown for the on-running Paul Kieran, and you don't miss chances like that.
And the ball played back by Liam Conlon to Paul Kieran, coming in not much of an angle, but absolutely blasted into the roof of the net. Leitrim in a very strong position now.
So is there a Roscommon response instantly? This is Derek Duggan and Thomas Quinn watching it, making sure it doesn't go wide. Out to Jerry Flanagan here. Well, in the past they've led against Roscommon and let Roscommon off the hook for the last 2 years. Will this be a case of third time lucky for Mickey Quinn's team? Out towards Shane Heslin in the centre, being marked by Joey Connaughton. Heslin now will have to be disciplined. Likewise Connaughton. And the trip there on David O'Connor, Heslin not making any attempt to play that, just to try and hold back the play. And for that personal foul, it's also booking for Shane Heslin.
Well, good work in the corner to get the ball to Paul Kiernan. When he was coming in there, I thought he should have played the ball back out the field because he had a Barney Breen there, but he fairly rifled it in the roof of the net. It had to be a good shot to beat Gay Sheardon with the sort of form that he's in today, but it really sets Leitrim up to win the match.
Leitrim lead by 4 points. 11 minutes into the second half. A long, long way to go as Tommy Graham's long kick hits the post, comes on, it's a goal! It's a fluke! But it counts! Tommy Graham, the goal scorer! There was an instant response. Well, they'll view it as something of a charmed goal, a fluke, no question about it, but they all count.
A very silly free by Shane Heslin to give away in the beginning, but when the ball comes in here, Thomas Quinn thinks the ball is going to go wide, just watches it, it strikes inside the post.
Derek Duggan. That's Enon Gavin way up in the attack against the other number 4. Killian McLaughlin adjudged to have committed the foul. 13 metres out, and Derek Duggan having this chance to put his side level. Duggan's 4 points so far in the match. The angle not the easiest, but well within his range. 14 minutes into the second half. And he's put it over the bar. It was close enough. So the sides level. 1 goal and 7 points for Roscommon, 1 goal and 7 points for Leitrim. BJ Carroll and Dolly Honeyman there must have thought their side were going to take a firm grip on this match. But Roscommon have come back, stung by those scoring chances availed of by Leitrim. Remember missing some of their big guns this afternoon. Derek Duggan touching it down for Tony McManus. Denied by Thomas Quinn, and I think it's crossed the line, or has it? Yes! I think the ball had crossed the line in any case initially. Derek Duggan made sure. Celebration time.
Again, Derek Duggan causes problems in the air, flicks it on to Tony McManus coming through, and he does what the Leitrim players failed to do the first half into that goal. At least he keeps the ball low. Thomas Quinn is unfortunate. Joe Darcy tries to get it back, but it was gone over the line before Derek Duggan finished it in again.
Down towards Kieran Mahan. Comes away from Enon Gavin, supported by Joey Connaughton. Up towards Derek Duggan, the kind of ball he likes, played right into his hands. A chance to turn and take on defenders. A real scoring chance for Derek Duggan as he shows just a little bit too much of it to the backs. Still picks himself up and kicks a fine point. But yes, it's going to count. A 7th point for Derek Duggan. Well, he did it all himself that time. A one-man full forward line it appeared. 3 minutes to go. Connaughton towards Derek Duggan again, tried to lay it off for Tony McManus. His very presence on the field has presented a threat at all stages for Leitrim. And that's his first point to add to the goal that he scored. Well, that may well secure victory for Roscommon and ensure another passage to another Connacht final. 4 between them.
Again, the long ball into Duggan doing the work. Knocked down to Tony McManus. Again, Jerry Flanagan rushes in. Tony McManus, one of the great forwards of the last 10 years, and kicks a great point with his left foot.
An inviting kick inside, missed by Killian McLaughlin. That's Noel Moran back there, one of the stars of this match. Darcy. Held off by David O'Connor. Won back by Matthew Riley. And the referee allowed 4 minutes of injury time in the first half, and is allowing something similar in the second. That angle kick has sailed over the crossbar, a kick by Tommy Graham. So now a goal and 2 points to Tommy Graham's credit. A more impressive finishing tally for Roscommon, who progressed to the third successive Connacht final, hoping to win it for the third time, that is. And that's it. A game which had many highs. It had 3 goals in all. Initially it was Leitrim taking the lead with a fine goal from Paul Kieran, but then a goal that was in the fortunate bracket from Tommy Graham, with another one coming in from Tony McManus, leaving the final score, Roscommon, the masters, by 2 goals and 11 points to Leitrim's 1 goal and 9.
What about that first save? Liam Conlon there, and Barney was involved in the build-up to it.
Yeah, Liam and Barney, I think that they probably beat themselves more than, and made it easier for me as Gordon as they got closer to the goal, because one didn't know whether to shoot or pass to the other, and wanted to give it to man in the best position.
You were in action again a little while later. This time I think it was the left hand that was used.
That's right, yeah. Liam Condon again, he made a lot of space for himself there today, and he was coming one-on-one. Lucky enough, I had the angle fairly well narrowed down. When he hit it, caught me on the left hand and out for 50. Oh. Look again, you know.
You make it look very easy. In fact, you didn't just use your hands or your chest, you used your foot at one stage.
Well, the feet, that is a lot of one, definitely. If he got through again on his own, and I thought that this was it. But I decided to go as you would go for the feet, and when I got down low, he beat me all right, but it caught me on the ankle and went over the bar.
Gay had a fabulous game today. I mean, we've had heroes over the last 2 or 3 years in the shape of Paul Airey, Tony McManus, John Newton, but today was Gay's day, and there were 3 super saves, and we needed them.
Roscommon has got a jinx on us at this stage. We just didn't get the breaks today. They got a free goal in the second half and brought them back into a game when we got 4 points ahead. It's just another one of those days.
Well, if the ground had opened up, I'll just jump into it now, because it's people don't realise it's 3 years of hard work. And, you know, we came from such a small basis, and as much as a low basis, as the fella says, and they've come in here and brought roughly 20,000 people to a match and play so well, and still in the end of the day, with a bit of luck, we didn't just get the rub of the green and lose the match, you know.
In the first 10-15 minutes or thereabouts, a lot of the ball was coming your way. It was in between yourself and Ollie Honeyman, and you were certainly having the better in that duel, it seemed.
Yeah, on the day, last year was a bit different now in the first half. Ollie seemed to get the better of me, but this year now, as I said, Ollie wasn't on his game, and I was lucky enough to be out in front every time.
You've plenty of support here. Who's this lady?
Plenty of support. This is Rena, my daughter, and Daniel, I don't know, probably away somewhere with the lads. We travel in force to matches, you know.
Come here to meet. Dad did well, didn't he?
Yes,
Best goalkeeper in the country, is he?
I'd say so.
And who do you think is going to win the final now?
Roscommon.
Has to be, has it?
Yeah.
She couldn't argue against that. Roscommon then, as expected, into the Connacht final to meet either Mayo or Sligo. Let's take a look at the statistics from that game. There was a particularly high number of frees in the match, a total of 68 in all, which works out at almost 1 a minute. Now, Roscommon did a massive amount of fouling, in fact conceding 42 frees in all, as against Leitrim's 26. Now, both sides shot exactly the same number of wides, 9 apiece. Well, now let's go back to Dr. Hyde Park to hear the views of our match analyst, Colm O'Rourke.
Overall, Colm, how would you assess that match? A hard, tough, championship type of game, was it?
Well, it was a very tough match, played on a very warm, humid afternoon. The ground was very hard, and there was great commitment by both teams.
Yeah, conditions were difficult enough this afternoon. I was just talking to Gay Sheeran after the game, and he was saying it really was steaming hot.
Yes, and for any of the players, particularly around the midfield area, they would have to do a lot of running. They would have need to be taking in a lot of water this morning, drinking a lot of fluids, maybe as much as a gallon of liquids, because in conditions like that you would sweat out so much that a player would get dehydrated very quickly.
How impressed were you with Roscommon today?
Well, I don't think Roscommon played that particularly well today, and I think a large part of that is due to the commitment by the Leitrim team. Leitrim played with fierce determination from start to finish, and at times they seemed to be getting the upper hand on Roscommon, and as happened so often in the past, things then just took a turn for the worse for them, and the team fell away slightly in the last quarter.
The Leitrim team indeed ran into a bang-in form Gay Sheeran this afternoon.
Yes, I think Gay Sheeran was the main reason why Leitrim didn't win the match. because Leitrim had 3 great opportunities of goals in the first half. The first one by Liam Conlon when Gay Sheeran made a very good save, but particularly I think the other 2 when he had to advance very quickly, and Brian Breen was the player involved on both occasions, and he smothered the shots. I think goalkeepers would probably say that it is an advantage to them when the player in possession is close in, and in that case the Leitrim forwards might have been too close to him to be able to shoot. The only option in a case like that nearly is to go around the goalkeeper, try and sell a dummy and get around him. But Gay Sheeran has probably been one of the best goalkeepers in the country over the last 10 years for getting out quickly and getting down on a player's boot, and he showed that today by the saves he made. And at that time Roscommon could have been 6 points behind at half-time only for his saves.
Just as Leitrim dominated the last 10 minutes of the first half, they also dominated the first 10 minutes of the second half and got a very good goal of their own.
Yes, Leitrim had a very good spell for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the second half. They were much the better team, and when they got the goal by Paul Kieran, it looked as if they would go on and win the game at that time, because they were 4 points up, but they were also playing very well. And then, of course, the tragedy for them, the long free in from Tom Grehan and hit the post. Thomas Quinn obviously feeling that the ball was going to go wide, and it drifted in, hit the post and into the net, and you could see the Leitrim heads dropping at that stage. It seemed as if every bad memory from the past was coming back to haunt them, and very soon Tony McManus put in another goal.
And the Telecom Éireann man of the match from that game was, hardly surprisingly, Gay Sheeran, the Roscommon goalkeeper. Without his string of fine saves, Roscommon surely might not have won that match. And Gay, like all our man of the match winners, receives a valuable gold watch. Right now we're going to take a commercial break. In part 2 of the programme, Down versus Derry in the north and Dublin against Wexford.